I hope you're all having a good day wherever you are. This reading is for all signs, the collective, and I just want to see what the current energy is for the collective. What is the current energy for the collective, Spirit Angels, Guides? Also want to check, let's see if it has me showing up as live and if the audio is working. Yep, it's working. Yay! Perfect. Okay, so I want to put some music on now. Let's put some music. Well, I just saw this video. I've been recently listening to handpan music, and it's been so, like, one of those. I love music. And I mean, there's some music I don't like, and there's still music yet to be explored for me. But handpan music is really good, especially if you're someone who wants to meditate. If you need like some kind of background, like cleansing music, I feel like that music really creates a calm ambience environment, you know. I love to play it at home on a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker, and it it does something. It creates some sort of vibe, and I follow this guy. He does what you call it. Let me see. I'm gonna find us. He plays handpan music. He's on YouTube. He has a channel, and he shared a video on his channel about how the handpan community is under threat. You know, that they want to destroy all the handpans and then kind of take credit, like somebody who's suing the handpan community basically wants to get rid of handpans and basically like steal their music. And there's some big lawsuit, and they're asking for people to support. Since I've recently discovered handpan music in the past month, I see the benefits of it, especially when I'm trying to, you know, relax, unwind, get away from my overthinking, because sometimes my mind can go a million miles per hour, and it's hard for me to kind of quiet all the noise or thoughts that I'm having. So music is one of the ways that I kind of find relief. And pan music has been like that. And also it's been very good with me just playing it in the house, because I feel like it helps clear the energy and creates a very calm, safe, comforting environment, a relaxing environment for me and my family. And yeah, so I support that. And I shared that video on my my community page on my channel. So I want to put some music on now. So the purpose of this reading is just energy check-in. Wow, I split the deck. Love and gossip. Love and gossip. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to be a current energy check-in. It could be anything that comes out. I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for anything in specific, you know, any in the messages 333 as I'm saying that. So it's just what comes out, and it could be whatever. It could be whatever comes out. I wanted to put music on. I'm gonna turn the Bluetooth off. Yeah, I did that already. All right, so I'm gonna play some handpan music right now. I'm actually going to do a search. This handpan and then this hang drum. So let's just play random songs. I really like playing this type of music also when I'm doing readings. So I want to know what the current energy is for the collective. What is the current energy for the collective, Spirit Angels, Guides? Well, that's just as the collective needs to know at this time. As I mentioned, this reading is for all signs. So take the messages as they resonate, leave behind what doesn't. They'll try to force a storyline that doesn't fit. You know, you may not hear messages in the beginning of the reading that resonate with you, but if you continue, you may hear something that you may need to know. I appreciate your time and your energy in watching these videos. I've been doing lives because it doesn't take memory space on my phone. So, and you know, I don't really get that many views with my my reading. So this is one way I could try to engage with anybody. So the first card we have is care, teach, accompany, assist, support. You see surprise, unexpectedly, another way beyond imagination. The color stories are similar, and we're in autumn, so it has an autumnal theme color-wise. So it could be something that you may have experienced, or maybe currently experiencing, or something that you're probably going to be transitioning to through the fall season, which will be ending, I believe, in the middle of December. So then we go into the winter solstice. Anything else? I feel like there's going to be, like, it's a surprise unexpectedly. Oh, look, the love card came out. Wow. Appreciation, fondness, respect, trust, and the father. Production, hunting, protection, teaching. Okay. So I feel like I'm going to have to use tarot to clarify this, but let me see what I'm getting just by looking at the cards. Some of you may be a father figure, or maybe dealing with someone who is a father. You are a father, you're dealing with someone who is a father, or just around somebody who has a very fatherly energy, like a paternal energy. Care, company, appreciation. When I look at the egg represents something new, something that's been created, something that's yet to hatch. With it coming out with the love card, it's like something unexpected has grown or has been created or has been fostered or nurtured. And fathers, they can be nurturers in their own way. They're not the same as mothers. Fathers show their love in different ways than a mother would. I feel like somebody is kind of getting an understanding about their feelings. They probably are surprised by how strong their feelings are, or the fact that they're even developing feelings. It could be a relationship where there's a lot of care, there's tenderness, where there's a lot of support. But then with that, love has grown from it, and it came in an unexpected way. Some of you may resonate with becoming a father. You may be, like, say, you might be finding out you're going to become a father. And that may be what the surprise is. It could be something that you never thought could happen, or it happens unexpectedly. If you're dealing with somebody where there is a development of love, a progression of love in a relationship, this person, the way this person may be feeling is a surprise to them. Yeah, it's coming out of nowhere. It's kind of giving tower moment, but it's like the way they feel is something that they probably never thought that they could feel again. I wanted to say again. They probably thought they would never feel this way again. I never knew a love like this before. Open my eyes. 'Cause I never knew love like this before. What a surprise. I think that's the lyrics to the song. Okay, so let's go into tarot to clarify. So this, with the care there, this is a teddy bear right here. Somebody who's loving, who's cuddly, who's caring, who is just snuggly, like somebody that you just want to like cuddle up to, you know? That's what I'm getting. Can you tell me about care? Can you tell me about care? What is this care? Oh, we got the Eight of Swords. That's indicating that somebody has been overthinking. Nine of Swords, sorry. Overthinking, overwhelmed, sleepless nights, unable. I feel like somebody may be, right, they have these strong feelings, right? Because we do have surprise, and then we have love showing up, and then we have care. I feel like somebody is surprised by how much they really care about someone, and even where it reaches a point. I mean, it could be a father, because we do have the father card coming here. We have the father card here. So it could be a father who's very concerned about a child, right? But it could also be a person who's like realizing how much they really care about somebody, and that sometimes the feelings can be overwhelming. But it could just also be that this is someone who's going through a lot of mental stress and needs someone who will assist them, that will support them, care for them. And I'm using the words that are on the card: teach, accompany, assist, support, with a teddy bear. So someone is in need of tender, loving care. They're in need of somebody who's gonna like, it's making me think of that song by, though it's about unrequited love. Wow, that may be significant, because I'm thinking about that song. She says, why, why don't you? He wipes the tears from my eyes, but why won't you? He calls me when I say I'm not okay. Why won't you? I feel like, yes, someone is in need of that, or has been in need of that, And I think someone may be reminiscing on the past, thinking about, past relationships, past connections, stuff that may have happened during their childhood, or even just, with the Six of Cups showing up, that's nostalgia energy. That's also, so someone may be stressed out about something from the past, and yeah, and there could have been some sort of third party situation, or there could have been infidelity, cheating, just multiple people involved in a relationship, and multiple disappointments in past relationships. Even though like the Three of Cups is a celebratory card, I got the Page of Swords. You know what I wanted to say? Because in my mind, I was thinking, like, what if this person is sad and distressed because they're seeing someone move on, that they're seeing somebody, having living their life, living happily and stuff. But then we have the Page of Swords coming out, and the Page of Swords is someone who watches, someone who observes, gathers information, and teach, accommodate, assist, support, So they could be watching someone that they care about move on without them, that they seem to be happy, they seem to be free, and they're stressed and worried and have concerns, and they're not happy with their life. They may not even be happy with their life, and right now they're in need of someone who's going to be there to support them, to love them, to comfort them. And then you see that in this card with the Six of Cups. Maybe this is something that the person is missing and the person needs at this time. Okay, so what is the surprise card? Surprise card. What is the surprise card? Damn, my shirt is like, okay, surprise. What is the surprise card? Surprise. Surprise, surprise. Talk about surprise. Hi, Kathleen. Thank you. So you have a surprise coming out. Oh, my shirt is... Okay, we have so many cards and I didn't even notice them come out. Okay, surprise, surprise, surprise. 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 I want to take that one. Give me one more for surprise. Oh, that one came out. Okay, the first card we have is Eight of Cups. Whoa, we got eight. Eight of Cups. Someone's walking away from something. That might be a surprise to somebody. Somebody's going to be surprised that somebody's going to be walking away with the Eight of Swords, because there's been a lot of overthinking, a lot of feeling trapped in your own mind, trapped in your own thoughts, trapped in the past, trapped in memories. And it's like a desire, a need to walk away from that. And then the King of Cups. So that it could be a King of Cups energy that's walking away from a situation, saying that they don't have emotional satisfaction in something that is causing more mental stress than it is happiness. And maybe this person's in search of some sort of emotional harmony, emotional peace, no longer wanting to be emotionally balanced. So it could be a water sign energy with the King of Cups. So it could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But since this is a King of Cups, it's Scorpio for fixed signs, because kings are fixed signs. We have the Sun at the bottom of the deck. But I want to get one more for this surprise. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody's going to walk away from something that has been emotionally and mentally draining, no, unsatisfying, hasn't even been stimulating in some way. And they basically want to be a free agent, because we have the Knight of Pentacles energy. This is someone who wants to focus more on self-care and their personal financial abundance, creating the life that they want, the stability, the lifestyle, the home, even a career or business that is emotionally satisfying. So it's like walking away from something. And I think it could be coming to a surprise to someone, because it may be coming unexpectedly, or walking away from something can lead to something unexpected, like an unexpected surprise. What that could be, I don't know. We have the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So it could be, this could be a decision that they feel is fair and just. So what is the surprise? I think walking away is what's going to bring emotional balance and stability and maturity, but also help, move this person towards a place of financial stability. That's what the surprise is. Because sometimes if you're in situations where there isn't any momentum, there isn't any movement, you have to, like they say, if you can't change your environment, then you have to change yourself. If you can't change something, you have to change yourself. If you can't change the people around you, then you have to change the people around you. Meaning if you can't change the people who are in your life, then you need to find new people. That's how you make the change. That's how you change. You're going to be swapping out people who are no longer beneficial or supportive or conducive to your mental and emotional well-being, for people who are going to be caring, who are supportive, and who will be just what you need and help bring you to a better place where you feel more at peace, where you feel like you feel more stable, and you're no longer trapped in your mind, trapped in anxiety, trapped in sadness and disappointment. Sometimes that could be a hard decision to make, especially when you're emotionally invested in someone, because, you think about how it's going to feel to walk away from someone that you care about. But if the situation that you're engaged in isn't for your betterment, or is it conducive to what is meant for you, then you have to make that hard decision. But then sometimes once you make that hard decision and you move into something new and you go into some, even though it may be scary, you know, because you may have to go through this mourning period. Because yes, when it's you, despite how a relationship ends, whether you're the one ending the relationship or it's the other person, there's still a moment where you're going to be grieving. There is going to be, you have to go through the grieving process, because if you are already emotionally invested in someone and you were starting to envision a life with them, but then you see that that's wasn't going to happen, then you have to mourn the life that you thought you were going to have, you know? But then doing so is what's going to create a new opening and allow you to invite whatever it is that is meant for you. You know, like the future is unwritten with the Three of Wands. Anything can happen, you know, but the only way you can find that out is once you get to the other side, you know. And I'm talking about ending relationships, not ending your own life, not ending anyone else's life, not because I have to be careful with what I say, because I know there may be people who watch who may have those thoughts, those dark thoughts, and they may be in need of mental health support and guidance. And I feel like it's important for people to get the support that they need. And if they don't have that within their own environment, then they're going to have to seek it out from professionals, or probably get away from people who aren't really supporting them the way they need, you know? And then it's like making that decision. It's like, you're going to be surprised that yes, or it could be surprisingly easy to do, you know? I know for me, I'm in the process of trying to create my own exit plan, but I feel like in some aspect that I'm stalling. And it may not be as, you know, sometimes when you try something new, you'll be like, oh, wow, I'm scared. And then when you try it, you probably mess up, or probably the first time you try it, you do really well and it's surprising to you. So maybe I just need to like rip the Band-Aid off and just move on, you know, instead of planning and stalling. And because I'm being honest, I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm stalling. But with the care, surprise, love. And then we're thinking about like, someone's in need of support and care. They're not getting it from the environment they're in. So they need to, and with the surprise card getting the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups, it's like indicating walking away, moving away from a situation that has been mentally overwhelming, has you trapped in your mind, has you overthinking, is the best way. That's how, like, when you walk away, this is where you're freeing yourself. You're freeing yourself from emotional burdens. You're freeing yourself from emotional turmoil, from emotional disappointment, sadness. Okay, so I want to know about this love card. Appreciation, fondness, respect, trust. What is this love card? What is this love? Okay, we got a couple of cards coming out. They just flew right out. The first one we have is the Ten of Wands. This is about walking away from burdens, taking stock, looking at everything that all the action you put, everything that you've implemented, all the things that you've done to try to make something work. And you're saying that it's time to end and start a new cycle. And that's the Ace of Wands, having a brand new passionate beginning, right? Then we have the Devil. So it could be walking away from addictions, walking away from addictive patterns, self-limiting thoughts, sabotage, destructive behaviors, addictions of any kind. It could be people, places, or things, right? And it's like it's like overcoming your devil, overcoming whatever restrictions you may be experiencing, you know, freeing yourself from those restrictions, and even being kind and tender to yourself, because sometimes the tenderness that we may be wanting from other people, it's something that we can also give to ourselves. And that's through compassion, self-grace, and even self-forgiveness. And then we have the Seven of Cups, you know, no longer, you know, like kind of taking the blinders off, walking away from, you know, any confusion, mental confusion, or even any illusions that people may have been creating, and, you know, being brave to move past that. We have 8 with the Eight of Cups. We have 8 with the Strength card. We have 8 with the Eight of Swords. I feel like the love that's having to come in is like, yes, you can appreciate a situation, appreciate the lessons that were learned. Then fondness, you could be fond of this person, but that doesn't mean you have to stay in a situation that's not conducive to you, right? Then respect, you can have respect for the person. This person may have respect for you, but you have to have respect for yourself. It's self-respect, and it's about trusting yourself and trusting that you can take care of yourself and that you complete yourself emotionally. You're in charge of your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your holistic health overall, and you're in charge of walking away, closing out cycles that are toxic, that aren't beneficial to you, and, taming whatever insecurities and fears that you have about walking away from a situation, and entering the unknown, because the unknown, there could be many options that lie on the other side of the unknown, on the other side of that gate, on the other side of that fence. Because you look here, it kind of looks like a fence with all those wands there, Let's look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Eight of Pentacles. It's time to focus on what you want to nurture, what you want to grow, what is going to bring you to this level of financial and emotional groundedness, stability within yourself as an individual. And, focusing on, where you see growth and not where there is lack. Because maybe some of you are experiencing a lack mindset and you need to move away from that. Yeah, and you need to find some sort of peace within yourself, peace and quiet. Try to find that, despite what may be going on around you, and allow yourself the time to heal, to have hope, to continue to have faith that things can improve. But you also have to take time to take care of yourself, And then we have the Four of Cups at the bottom too, because whatever may have happened in the past may have been like distasteful, I wanted to say, you lost the taste for it. But there could be something new coming in, and it could be a new love, or it could just be a new cycle where you're starting to appreciate yourself, appreciate this new phase or new cycle that you may be starting, where where you can have everything that you want. With the Father energy, I feel like this is about you learning how to protect yourself. This is you learning, because see, teaching and teach. Learning how to take care of yourself. Learning how to be more discerning, because hunters, being more observant, being more, I want to say predatorial, but not in a bad way, but it's more like, because predators, they're very observant, and we do have the Page of Swords. So I feel like in that aspect, it's just a matter of you just being a little more discerning, not a little more, being more discerning, being observant, and learning how, with those things, like noticing those little signs, red flags and stuff, that's how you're able to discern who is good for you, who isn't, what is good for you and what isn't. That's one of the ways that you can take care of yourself. This is how you could be a father to yourself, and I mean, it could actually be you are dealing with someone who's a father who is in this type of situation where they need to walk away from the burdens. They need to walk away from overthinking and emotional dissatisfaction, not allowing the past to continue to dictate their present, and needing to heal in order to allow themselves to be loved, and also to love themselves, to take care of themselves, protect themselves, because men do need to protect themselves too. Men are prone to attacks, moan. Oh my gosh. Why did I say moan? Men are vulnerable in their own way. Not the same way a woman is, but in their own way, they're vulnerable too. So there could be a masculine energy that resonates with this, or not. Or you could be dealing with a masculine energy that may resonate with that. But I wanted to say too, because I see under the Father card is comply. And I think this has to do with certain expectations that men have that they're expected to meet. And I feel like that sometimes it's unfair, because men go through things too, and they need they need the same amount of grace, compassion that is extended to feminine energies, you know? Men have feelings too. Men have mental health issues. Men need to be cared for. Men need to be supported. Men need to be nurtured and loved, you know? And I know we already know that because that's what us feminine energies do for our men, for our masculine energies. Let's see this. Now, that was unexpected. That's kind of like a love reading / general reading because it could be about a person having to take care of themselves, but it could just also be dealing with someone else that, you know, where you may need to walk away so that you take care of yourself. You put yourself first. Okay. Oh, one card, soul contract. The lessons I learned from us will never be forgotten. So this is the message of Lover Oracle deck. The lessons I learned from us will never be forgotten. Oh, wow. Daydreaming, I am always longing for you. And the other card that fell out was forgiveness. I am struggling to get over the past. And I was just talking about that. So this may be connected to the reading that I just did, where someone needs to forgive. And this forgiveness could be self-forgiveness, you know? Sometimes when we feel like there were things that we could have done differently, things that we wish we would have said, things we wish we would have done, that we can't change, we have to forgive ourselves for the actions we've already taken. You know, sometimes we can't go back in time and change that. So we have to forgive ourselves, but it's also about acceptance, you know? But this could be about, so that's me connecting it to soul contract. The lessons I learned from us will never be forgotten. Forgiveness. So there may be some situation where there is somebody who is longing for you, thinking about you constantly. That could be what that 8 of Swords energy is. Like someone could have their thoughts tied up in you, but they may be replaying some sort of situation where they probably did something wrong, where they may be wanting or needing your forgiveness. It may be a soul contract relationship, and soul contracts can be romantic, it could be platonic, it could be work, it could be friends, you know. But this is a love oracle, so it could be a love relationship where someone may have done something. But I see responsibilities. Someone has a lot of responsibilities. I have to take care of my financial and emotional needs, you know. But if this person is focused on, you know, they show a family here, you know, so I don't know, you may be dealing with someone who has a family, or it could just be a person who has a child. But this person is trying to take care of the responsibilities, but they know that there's some sort of connection that they have with you. They may have disappointed in you in some way, and that may be why they feel they need your forgiveness. Because it could also be too that there may be something going on in the past that may be interfering with your relationship that they're still struggling to get over. It could be something that constantly plagues their mind, something that they constantly replay, something that they're still trying to get past, but they can't, you know? And it could involve a past relationship where they have a child, you know, because we do see a couple in the responsibilities card. You know, this person can be in a relationship. You may be the person that's part of the family dynamic. So you may be the mother of their child or the father of their child, or, you know, you could be married to each other, essentially, you know, but there's forgiveness. There's something that's interfering with the relationship, and it's definitely something from the past. I mean, it could be like a past relationship, or it could be something that happened within the relationship that happened in the past within the relationship. Like there could have been some infidelity. There could have been some deception. We have runner. I don't want to run anymore. So someone, you know, like the runner is someone who's an avoidant, someone who runs away from their problems, someone who may be engaging in escapist behaviors. Someone who could be possibly going into social media, maybe having certain addictions, possibly other distractions, and it could be anything. Some people, they like to distract themselves with work. So we have workaholics. We have people who distract themselves with some addictions, like pornography, gambling. They may be imbibing, like over drinking, or even engaging in drug use, right? But this is someone who doesn't, it says, I don't want to run anymore. I feel like somebody's, they're struggling to get over the past, but with the runner card, I feel like this person may be ready to face their past, face their demons. Remember, we had the strength card coming out earlier. So, and the strength card, the feminine figure, she's petting the lion, like she's calming the lion. She's taming whatever fears, urges that this person may be having, This person, it could be you, like this could be your situation. So please take it as it resonates. So there could be someone here, like who's a runner, but they're guilty. They feel guilty about something, and like usually when you feel guilty about something, this is where you're going to be wanting to forgiveness, but remember, forgiveness has to start with yourself, because when you look at certain situations, sometimes we all play a part in it. And when you think about your own actions in something that didn't work out, you have to forgive yourself. Sometimes people aren't going to forgive you, but the most important person that needs to be forgiven, that you need to forgive, is yourself. That's my model, because you don't want to live with this guilt. Guilt is a very heavy emotion. It's a negative thing. It's something that can also be tied to shame. And shame is a very powerful tool to use against other people, So when you're able to forgive yourself, acknowledge anything that you've done wrong, take accountability, and also forgive yourself. Whatever happened in the past cannot be used against you because you took the power away. You took back your power in the situation, right? So I feel pain from the damage I have caused. So maybe in the past, this person has done something where, like I said, it's the forgiveness, but the damage could have been caused to themselves, or it could have been caused to you, or vice versa. You caused it to them, or you caused it to yourself, like something like that. I'm getting confused. But I feel like this person no longer wants to run away from that. They're ready to take accountability for their own actions and forgive themselves. Somebody may have been cheating because I see third party. There were other things that got in the way, but I'm going to say this much because third party doesn't necessarily have to be cheating. Sometimes it is. And if you know that, or you suspect that, you may be right, but that's for you to confirm. I cannot, because everybody's situation is different. But third parties don't necessarily have to be another person. It could be something that is a distraction or an interference in a relationship. So it could be work, it could be family, it could be mental health, it could be finances. It doesn't necessarily have to be another person. And if it is another person, it doesn't necessarily have to be where the person's cheating. It could just be somebody in their family, or it could be a friend, a relative, a co-worker. It could be anything, but it doesn't always have to be cheating. I feel like people, if you suspect cheating is going on, you're most likely are going to be right. But of course, you want that confirmation. I know I would want confirmation, So if you suspect that, I feel like you may have to do a little digging, try to get some information to confirm that for yourself. And, that's something I cannot do for you, You will have to pay me for that. And this is free. Anything else? Let me see what time it is. Oh, I got 10 more minutes until my lunch break ends. 10 more minutes. Okay. So let's see. Anything else that the collective needs to know? Thank you for whoever gave my video a like. I appreciate your time and your energy for watching. I hope you're having a good day. If you're new, my name is Tan, and Artemis Oracle is my channel. I read tarot and oracle cards. I also like to give a little bit of preachy advice, but this advice is coming from a good place. It's not coming from judgment, and it's not coming to put you down in any way. Because I'm human just like you. I've made mistakes just like you. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are mistakes. You know, oh, a card, ooh, couple cards dropped. Wow, okay, I love this. Remember we talked about third party? Your ego could be a third party, you know? I let my pride get in the way of our connection too, you know? That's one of them. Self-love, I'm still trying to heal. Forgiveness, I'm struggling to get over the past. The guilt, I feel pain from the damage I have caused. You know, that ties into that. Shadow side, you made me realize my flaws. You know, unappreciated, I felt like you didn't care. So maybe somebody made you feel like they didn't care about you, or maybe you may have felt you probably felt like the person didn't care about you, or they felt like you didn't care about them. You know, and I love that because it just kind of it connects to the forgiveness and guilty and self-love. I was talking about forgiveness. That is so important. And that's one of the ways that you can show yourself love is by forgiving yourself for all the mistakes you've made. You can't take back what has been happening in the past, but you don't have to let it dictate your present moment and your future. You know, you have to forgive yourself. But you can only do that once you feel ready to, once you're able to like sit in your shadow, face your demons, and come to terms that there are parts of you that are not the greatest, but that doesn't make you a bad person. Everybody has that dark side. Sometimes the dark side shows in us. Sometimes it doesn't. Some people are fortunate to not have that side of us kind of come out, you know, but some of us, it does. But I feel like that's an aspect of yourself that does show some strength in you, you know, but it shows you that you're human and you deserve, that doesn't make you any less of a good person. You know, everybody has a shadow side, you know, we all have our dark thoughts, you know, and the gravity or magnitude of those thoughts are different for every person, you know, depending on religion and your culture and your belief system and even how you were raised, how you know, your environment, because that plays a role in how we grow up and how we view the world and even the way we view ourselves, you know? So yes, if you did something wrong, so what? We all did something wrong. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong, you know? But that doesn't mean you're a bad person, you know? Sometimes we want forgiveness from other people, but sometimes we need it most from ourselves because guilt can eat us alive. It could keep us up at night. It could make us hate ourselves, you know, hate ourselves for the things we've done in the past. But the thing is, it's like, if you see that what you did in the past is wrong and it's not a good reflection of you, then that shows you that's just the aspect of yourself that kind of got drawn out. But that's not something you want to be. And that doesn't mean that you have to continue being that way, because to continue being in your shadow energy is a choice, you know, unless you try to learn to accept that part of yourself and know how to tame that part of yourself so it doesn't bleed into other areas of your life, or that you don't repeat a pattern, you know. But this is where self-love comes in. This is where healing starts, you know, when you start to appreciate all aspects of yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, because we all have those parts in us. Like I said, I keep repeating that. And I feel like it's something that people really need to understand. It's something that I learned to understand, you know? So we had this card that came out, that fell out before these other cards did, fell on the floor. We have values, you know? We have too many differences. So there may be certain things that are interfering with the relationship. We did see the third party card, and the differences can be even cultural practices, beliefs. It could be ideas about money itself. You know, maybe somebody may not want to forgive you, but that's their choice. But that doesn't mean you don't get to forgive yourself. You know, that's your choice. That's your prerogative, you know, but how someone else feels in the situation, that's for them to decide. But that doesn't mean you have to allow them to have that control over you. So if they want to see you as a bad guy, guess what? Then let you have to be okay with that, because in everybody's story, we're going to be the bad guy, because we didn't give them what they wanted. We didn't say what they wanted to hear. We didn't do what they wanted us to do. Or maybe we did something really effed up, that we can't take back. But like I said, we have to love, accept ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly, For some of you, there may be a reunion because there is forgiveness being extended. But, sometimes somebody could forgive you, but you don't forgive yourself. And then you could be holding yourself to this past, And that's not fair to you. You're punishing yourself. I've been in that situation where someone forgave me for something I did wrong, but I punished myself. I felt like I was unworthy, that I didn't deserve to be loved, that I deserved to be treated like shit. And the thing is because I didn't forgive myself for the fucked up thing I did, but the person forgave me and I was able to rebuild trust with the person, but I didn't forgive myself, and I was in my own mental prison, I devalued myself because of something I did in the past when I was younger, and I was dumb and stupid and insecure, and but that's not who I am. That's an aspect of me. I know what I'm capable of, but that doesn't mean I have to repeat it. That doesn't mean that's who I am. And it makes me think of that song from Cold, or no. 3 Doors Down. Your mistakes don't define you now. They tell you who you're not. I love that, because when you're able to look at something you did and then you say that was a mistake, when you're admitting that you made a mistake and that's not who you are, then that mistake isn't a part of your identity. That's something that you did, but that's not who you are. I hope that makes sense. I love that song. I forgot the name of that song. Yes. I want to look it up. Hi, Too True. Thank you. I'm glad the message is resonating. I forgot the name of that song. Tell you who you're not. Mistakes don't tell you. It's the only one you've got. I think that's the song. You hide behind your walls of maybe never. 3 Doors Down. I'm sorry, because I channel music and that song is in my mind right now. And that I feel like it resonates with this reading. It ties with the reading. It's not my time. Be like that here without you when I'm gone. Let me go goodbyes. Let me be myself. Where is it? I know it's part of isn't that? What album is it part of? I'm sorry. It just is gonna. I have to look this up. And one of the songs too. Your arms feel like home. Okay, that's something that might resonate with somebody. I think it's the only one you got. Oh God, is it them? 3 Doors Down? Maybe it's another band. I don't know. I think it's another band. I don't know what the song is, but it says your mistakes don't define you now. They tell you who you're not. Hi. When I see it said wave, it's like I felt like I was prompted to wave. Oh gosh, I have to end the reading now. Thank you so much for watching, Too True, and Kathleen, if you're still there. I really appreciate your time and your energy. I hope this is what I love about reading tarot cards and oracle cards is like so many messages come out and they may not resonate with everybody, but there may be something that someone needs to hear. And because of my experience with tarot and oracle readings, just from watching YouTube videos, I learned a lot about myself and it gave me a lot of things to think about. And I hope that I can bring some sort of clarity, say something that may trigger a thought or maybe trigger a thought process where, you can gain some understanding or bring some sort of clarity in whatever situation anybody who's watching may be experiencing. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. My name is Tan. This is Artemis Oracle, and I'm your reader. Take care. Bye, everyone.